We are joined once again by State Senator Vin Gopal, Democratic Conference Chair and Chair of the Senate Education Committee. Senator, great to have you with us.
Great to be with you, Steve.
Right now, we have a teacher shortage crisis, a crisis of not enough teachers in our schools. What's the problem and what do we need to do?
I think the profession has been taking a hit as a whole. We're seeing bills across the country, ridiculous bills, such as putting cameras in the classroom. We're already starting with educators who, the average teacher starting at a salary of around 40, 50,000 over 30 years. They're not making anywhere close to six figures. We've seen this big misinformation campaign related to sex education. I've spoken to kids, I call them kids, students at different universities who are interested in being teachers. And there's just been a great attack on the teaching profession as a whole. So I think we've got a lot of challenges, but it has to do a lot of the misinformation on the attacks on teachers.
Senator, I want to go to the sex education confusion. I don't even know if I call it controversy. There's confusion, which for some may mean controversy. That being said, I want to go back to the shortage issue. There are many states who are now considering ways to get folks in the classroom without their teaching certification, and there are different processes in which to do this. Should we be doing that in New Jersey?
Absolutely. I just came from Lead Charter School over in the Central Ward in Newark, where I talked to the faculty and students there, and I saw some incredible teachers there that had different pathways to get there. So I think we need to look at all options, and I think professional experience should help equate to some folks becoming a teacher.
But Senator, how do we guarantee that they're qualified to be in front of that classroom if, in fact, they're not certified? And what does it say about all those who have been certified?
I think we have to look and see what the subject is, what the type of certifications. I do think they have to take some kind of test. I do think they have to take some kind of skill set. Look, a lot of private schools right now, you don't need the same certifications to teach in public schools. And we know that. I mean, we've had a lot of people have different careers and they come into the private school setting to teach. I think we have to put everything on the table. There's a number of bills that Senator Ruiz and I are moving in Senate Education later this month, and I think we have to look at all approach. I don't think what they did down in Florida was entirely helpful. I think this has to be based on certifications and educational background.
And I believe what you mean in Florida is there's absolutely no certification required, and I'm not even sure what is then required to become a teacher.
Correct.
Switch gears. There have been certain legislators, particularly certain Republican legislators, who are arguing that the education profession, that our schools are, quote, trying to indoctrinate young children at a very early age around sexual orientation, around gender, et cetera, as it relates to the public school curriculum in different grades. What is fact and what is inaccurate, Senator?
Yeah, this has really been discouraging. This isn't even politics. I've been extremely disappointed in Republican leader Steve Adubato, not the precedent that his predecessor, Senator Kaine, and others set, where politics is okay, but this is dangerous. We are at September, end of September now, 600 plus school districts, and we don't have a single school district out there that is public that we know about that is apparently teaching inappropriate material to school children. It's not happening. So this has been a small group of people that have spread a lot of misinformation to try to bring politics.
Senator, why would they do that? But what's the first of all, we're taping in September, be seen later. But Senator, what's the advantage to state something that you argue is in the curriculum regarding sex education that you argue is inappropriate, if in fact you can argue it's inappropriate or not, and people that could have different points of view, but it is what it is and it's not what it's not. So it's either there or it's not.
It's not there. They're just making it up, right? They're telling that people are teaching sex acts to second graders and they're trying to change gender identity. That does not exist. They're doing it because there's November elections coming up and Congress is at stake and they're going to try to do it next year. And usually when parents are busy right now, they've got to take care of their kids. They got full-time jobs. So they see a Facebook headline or a newspaper article headline, oh, Democrats are trying to indoctrinate their kids. They're counting on parents not to do more research and background because they're so busy in their lives and hoping that fear allows them, because obviously when your child is at stake, nothing is more important. So they're hoping that fear moves away. But here we are. We can't name, Steve, a single school district out of 600 that's apparently teaching anything inappropriate.
Senator, shift gears. You've joined us in the past and talked honestly and openly in a very helpful way around some of the personal mental health issues you have experienced. And you've helped a lot of people in that process, not only talking to us, but talking publicly about this. What is the youth mental health crisis initiative in the state as it relates to the New Jersey Pediatric Psychiatric Collaborative? I know there's a lot of jargon there, but I'm going to put up the senator's website so people can find out more. What is the New Jersey Pediatric Psychiatric Collaborative?
This was championed by Speaker Coughlin, myself, and many others. Mental health continues to be the largest issues. I've spoken openly, Steve, on the Senate floor with you. I've struggled with depression. I've struggled with anxiety. Breaking that stigma is important. It's important for children to know that a lot has happened, not just around COVID, but things in their own families. And sometimes that has a direct impact. You can't go and sit on a standardized test when there's enough challenges that you're having outside of the home. And I just went to the charter school in Newark, and to hear these kids' personal stories, if I had to go through that, I can't imagine how I could take any test. You know, I'm privileged that I had an upbringing that was different, but so many people are having that challenge, and we can't just go the old school model of go to school, you're there, you're going to be disciplined, you're going to take a test, and then you're off at 4 o'clock, and we don't know what happens to you the rest of the day. So we're going to be pushing hard. We got a hearing coming out later this year on mental health in our schools, about adding more counselors, adding more collaborative partnerships. We've got a lot of great nonprofit organizations out there, like we have Prevention First here, and we need to make sure that there are partnerships in those counties and that schools kind of change their business model on how a student is going to succeed. It can't just be about them taking a test and then you're done.
I want to thank Senator Vin Gopal, who is the Democratic Conference chair and also the chairman of the very significant, important, and impactful Senate Education Committee. Senator, I want to thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Steve.
You got it. I'm Steve Adubato. That is Vin Gopal. We'll see you next time.
State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by the Turrell Fund, supporting Reimagine Childcare, the New Jersey Education Association, Summit Health, RWJ Barnabas Health, PSE&G, Bank of America, Eastern Atlantic States Regional Council of Carpenters, NJM Insurance Group, Fedway Associates, Inc., and by these public-spirited organizations, individuals, and associations committed to informing New Jersey citizens about the important issues facing the Garden State. And by Employers Association of New Jersey. Promotional support provided by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association and by New Jersey Monthly.
NJM Insurance Company has been serving New Jersey policyholders for more than 100 years. But just who are NJM's policyholders? They're the men and women who teach our children, the public sector employees who maintain our infrastructure, the workers who craft our manufactured goods, and New Jersey's next generation of leaders, the people who make our state a great place to call home. NJM, we've got New Jersey covered.